Welcome back. Now for your 5-day weather forecast, we go outside to Adriano Mancini.
It is going to be a difficult drive home for Humber students today as it is expected to snow for the remainder of the day. And here's the 5-day weather forecast for the remainder of the week. Expect to have snow throughout the day with a high of 1 with a low of -2. For Thursday, expect all-day showers with a high of 5 and a low of 0. For Friday, it's going to be a normal day with a high of 8 with a low of -1. For Saturday, it will rain with a high of 6 and a low of 1. For Sunday, it's going to be a windy day with a high of 3 but a low of -8. And that's your 5-day weather forecast. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Adriano. In national news, the Conservative staffer who resigned last week amid the robocall scandal has broken his silence. 23-year-old Michael Sona says he was not involved in the fraudulent phone calls. Sona had been working for MP Eve Adams until he resigned. It was first believed his resignation was due to involvement in the scandal. However, Sona says it was the constant rumors and media attention that made it impossible for him to do his job. Sona says it was the media's actions, including involving his family, that led him to issue his denial now.
Montreal drivers have been hit with a sharp spike in gas prices. Earlier this week, the average price of gas in the city jumped from $1.33 to $1.44 a liter overnight. Fuel prices also went up in Windsor, where an overnight increase of 10 cents saw gas prices reach $1.31. The national average for regular gas prices now sits at $1.38 per liter. Meanwhile, expert predictions for the future of gas prices range from the status quo to more extreme price hikes.
Some computer hackers may no longer be anonymous. Interpol says 25 suspected members of the hacker group called Anonymous have been arrested in sweeps across Europe and South America. The suspects are between 17 and 40 years old. Interpol says they are suspected of planning coordinated cyber attacks against institutions including Colombia's Defense Ministry and Chile's National Library. Anonymous's supporters didn't stay quiet. They briefly took down Interpol's website after the arrests were made. The charges against the suspects have not been released.
After victories last night, Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney is looking ahead to his next big fight. Romney had an expected victory in Arizona, but managed only to squeeze ahead in Michigan in a tight race against Rick Santorum. The focus is now on next week's Super Tuesday, where 10 states across the country will hold votes for the presidential nominee. More than 400 delegates are on the line, and the day could be key in determining which candidate will take on Democrat Barack Obama this fall.
And now with your sports news, here's Wendy Match.
The Humber men's basketball team will look to defend their championship title as they travel to Ottawa today to play in the OCAA tournament. The Hawks will be facing rivals Fanshawe College in the first round Thursday. The Hawks only suffered 3 regular season losses, with one coming from the hands of Fanshawe. Point guard Mike Dvorak says the team is well rested and prepared for the game.
We've been watching a bunch of tape, and we've been going through their sets and practices. We've been trying to defend everything that they do, and we're putting in a couple extra sets this week so that we surprise them on offense.
Tip-off is at 6 p.m. Thursday. The women's basketball team is also in action as they face Algonquin College tomorrow in Toronto. This will be their first game this season against the team. Last week, the Hawks took on Durham College in the qualifying round to earn them a spot in the OCAA tournament. The game starts at 3 p.m. Thursday. In professional sports, the losing streak continued for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs took on the Florida Panthers last night at the Air Canada Centre, where they were handed a 5-3 beating. James Reimer was in net, and the first 2 shots he faced were let in, the first after 12 seconds. This is the Leafs' 9th loss in 10 games. The Leafs will play the Chicago Blackhawks tonight at the United Centre. Other Canadian teams in action: the Ottawa Senators defeated Boston 1-0. The Montreal Canadiens visited Tampa Bay Lightning. Steven Stamkos scored his league-leading 44th goal to help lift the Lightning to a 2-1 win over the Canadiens. And the Vancouver Canucks traveled to Glendale, Arizona to face the Phoenix Coyotes, where it ended up in a shootout. Ray Whitney and Michael Boddicker both scored to defeat the Canucks 2-1. In NBA news, the Toronto Raptors were in action last night as they took on the Houston Rockets. Houston point guard Kyle Lowry scored a game-high of 26 points to help lift the Rockets to an 88-85 win. Raptors power forward Ed Davis tied a career high with 15 rebounds, while guard DeMar DeRozan sat out in the fourth quarter despite scoring 17 points. Raptors' next game is tonight against the New Orleans Hornets. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. After 15 years, Boston Red Sox catcher Jason Varitek will announce his retirement from baseball Thursday. Varitek joined the Red Sox in 1997 and played his 1,546 Major League games with Boston. The longtime team captain turns 40 this April and was offered a minor league contract invitation by the Red Sox. He helped lead the Red Sox to their first title in 86 years in 2003 and again in 2007. Varitek has hit 193 home runs and 757 runs batted in. And that's your sports update.
Thanks, Wendy. After the break, we'll have your entertainment update.